Hello again, this is my second Ever17 German pronunciation guide. If you haven't seen the first one, I recommend you watch it as well. I'm not a native speaker of German, but I have studied it and understand how to pronounce things pretty well. I still don't expect most people to become proficient just from watching this, but one thing I do hope you all take out of it is that the letter E is always pronounced, even at the end of a word. So try to get that much at least. Every letter counts for something. So here we go. Leiblich Medizin. Leiblich Medizin. You might have trouble with how exactly the CH there is pronounced, so let me explain it. CH has two different values depending on the preceding vowel. After A, O, and U, it is a guttural sound. Ch, ach, och, uch. It's not really terribly guttural though, and it's silly to go as fun as that can be. The other case, as we see here, is following E or I, in which case it's pretty much a slightly roughed up breathing sound. Sh. To understand how to make this sound, let's approach this in a way that was quite helpful to me. Think of the word hue. Concentrate on the sound of H here. Try it yourself. Hue. Notice how the back of your tongue moves close to the roof of your mouth. Now try to move it even higher. Hue. Hue. If you did it right, you should now have pretty much the sound that CH should have here. All you have to do is drop the U part. Ich. Leiblich. Weißer Hund. Weißer Hund. This is the title of one of the music tracks, although they misspelled it with an S instead of Est-set, the old ligature of S and Z. Notice how the D at the end of Hund is D-voiced. This is a consistent feature of German. The stops B, D, and sometimes G, which would otherwise be voiced, become devoiced at the end of a word, as well as at the end of a component of a compound word or a prefix. Kopfsprung. Kopfsprung. I admit I have trouble with this one myself. In the word Kopf, both the P and the F are pronounced. I told you every letter counts, and the P seems to interfere somewhat with the sh sound following it. Consonant clusters like these are quite characteristic of German. Traum in der Dunkelheit. Traum in der Dunkelheit. This title is one of my favorites. Nothing to do with German, it's just very evocative. The music itself is pretty eerie too. Hologramm. Hologramm. Das Absuchen. Das Absuchen. Gedächtnisschwund. Gedächtnisschwund. Klamauk. Klamauk. Heilmittel. Heilmittel. Wiedergeburt. Wiedergeburt. Karma. Karma. Well, this one is of course not native German, but it's in the German vocabulary as much as it's in the English vocabulary, and all the rest of the music tracks have German titles, so I figure this one is no different. I'm including it for the sake of completeness. Nach. Nach. And now for some spoilerific ones. I divided these into ones that spoil Takeshi's routes and one that spoil Kid's routes. Takeshi's are first. If you want to hear the Kid ones and skip Takeshi's, go to this time. EBF. EBF. German has the same alphabet as English, plus some accented letters and an old ligature that has somehow survived to the modern day, but the names for the letters are different, of course. The name for letter I is not the same as English's letter E. It's a very open, high, and tense vowel. To say it properly, you should open your lips as wide as possible and make the middle of your tongue almost touch the roof of your mouth. E. EBF Notfall. EBF Notfall. Again, the title of one of the music tracks. Institut für biologische Forschung. Institut für biologische Forschung. The two dots on the U are called an umlaut. Pronunciation-wise, you can think of it as the same as U without the umlaut, except the tongue is brought forward as if you were trying to say E. Ü. Ü. Für. Für. Drittes Auge. Drittes Auge. Der Mond das Meer. Der Mond das Meer. German has a grammatical gender system, which basically divides all nouns into the classes called masculine, feminine, and neuter, although they really have very little to do with real gender, and it's a pain to have to learn which class each and every noun belongs to. Declension includes using the appropriate article for a given gender, case, and grammatical number, singular or plural. Drittes Auge nehmen. Drittes Auge nehmen.